In B2B, it's a little bit difficult because when I'm talking to, say, a dealer, I ran Benjamin for 10 years each, so for 20 years in a row, largest dealerships of their makes in the United States and highest customer satisfaction in the United States for their makes. So not from a boasting standpoint, but from like, can Benjamin sell? Yes. And can Jeff accomplish this in a dealership? Yes. Like, that's not a question, right? But so now when I'm calling B2B, I'm like the guy in the hardware store trying to tell them where a screw is because I'm a vendor. And they don't know that with half my brain tied behind my back, I could probably help their retail situation out. I'm dealing with egos too. I'm certain no matter what business you're dealing with egos. Can you comment on that? It was originally, don't put yourself beneath. I listened to that and I struggle with that at times.
Okay, yes, a lot of salespeople do a lot of... See, the problem is it comes back to certain programming we got as kids, and a lot of people are of the opinion that the person with the money makes the rules. The man with the goal makes the rules.
Customer's always right.
Yeah,
right.
Customer's always right, and they're great slogans, but they actually train you to actually... You're deferring to the money. It's not even the prospect. You're bowing down to their cash. You're letting your selfish desire for their money dictate how you behave. So you're no longer there for the customer. So there's this false narrative. You say, well, I'm doing this because I want to make the customer feel better. Actually, the reason you're doing it is because you want their money more and you don't want that money to run away. This is actually one of the most selfish things to do as opposed to the right thing to do. And what I do is, and what I teach my people is, I have a solution, they have a problem. We're equal at the very least. Because let's say they need what I have and I don't want to sell it to them. Suddenly what happens to their money? It has no power. And the problem is salespeople always give money power. Money only has power in the mind of somebody that wants it. So if you were Elon Musk and you had some form of cancer, right, and I had the only cure, and I like Elon Musk, but for the sake of this conversation, let's say I didn't like him. And Elon Musk says, Benjamin, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $1 billion for the antidote, I'm going to die. And I said, no, I don't like you. No. I'll give you $2 billion. No. I don't want to sell it to you. No. Honestly, mate, I hope you die. Yeah. Now, other than hire an assassin to kill me and nick it, his money is powerless. At that moment, all the money in the world that he has, if he can't use it to buy something, is useless. And what I point out to salespeople is, you have the power. They always come back, oh, but they got choice. They could just go down the road and buy it. Yes, of course they have choice. But that shouldn't change the way you behave. And you go in there, and by knowing that you don't need their money, you'll do a better job of selling to them. Because rather than trying to kowtow to them, you'll actually ask them better questions. Because if you don't care about their money and you don't care about getting it, you kind of don't care about the sorts of questions you ask. Because you're not trying to ask questions will only get you to a yes. You may ask questions to get to a no, but you're developing trust as you do that. So the mindset to me is very important. Your prospect is never more than your equal, ever. And if you treat them as better than you, if you act in a way and you do that, then you are setting yourself up for longer sales cycle and a more depressing life. And salespeople struggle with that because they're always desperate. They always need a deal. They always need money. And prospects know this. I know it. When you get in front of me as a salesman, I know you're so desperate for my money that if I go, look, I really do want it, but look, we can't, honestly, our budget, it's 100. We cannot get to 105. So unless you can move, I'm going to have to say no. And deep down, I know I'll pay 105 because I actually really want what this guy has. And then I just wait. And then what does the salesman tend to do? Let me see if we can come to some arrangement, yeah? And that's the game. But salespeople too often let the prospect win. But they're too chicken shit, too scared because they don't want to lose the money. So they're attached to the outcome. And I'm never attached to the outcome. I'm attached to how I get to the outcome, but I'm not attached to the outcome. So it's very important mindset shift. And if you can do it, selling is a lot of fun. It's real easy, actually.
So when you say you're attached to your process or how you get there and not the outcome, is it a little bit like, and tell me if I'm missing the point, is it a little bit like, look, I might lose a blackjack hand, but I've got to play the hand right.
Yes, exactly. It's like a surgeon. If you ask a surgeon, why do your patients not die? They wouldn't say something like, well, it's because of my winning personality. You know, people like me. I'm a great guy. I know what I'm doing. You go, no, seriously. Why do they die? Why do they not die? I'll tell you what. Do you know how many times I've done this operation? I know every cut. I know every suture. I know every part of the human body. If I cut up in a human and there's something in there I've never seen, I'm not fazed by it because I'm programmed to train for it. So everything I do, I know. And I'm not thinking about cut 16 on cut 1 or 30. I'm thinking about each cut. If I do each cut, if I do each incision, if I do each stitch right in the right order, and I do that and I sew them up, statistically, this person's going to live. I know that. Now, if they die, there'll be an autopsy. And then I examine it. And if they go through everything I did and they say the surgeon did nothing wrong, the patient died because of a post-operative infection or some intervening act, the surgeon, fuck, I did my job. You win some, you lose some. I did nothing wrong. But if they discover I left a scalpel inside the person and given, I'm negligent, I fucked up, I'm guilty, and I deserve to be punished. But I don't cry over dead patients when I've done everything right. Lawyers are the same. Professional sportsmen are the same. You train and train and train, and on the day you got to do everything right. Whatever happens at the end will be, but as long as you bring your best game, your best technique, put in your best effort, you'll get the results more consistently, but you're not going to win every time. And it's getting salespeople to see that. This isn't about winning. It's about doing it right. And if you do it right all the time, you'll start to consistently get the outcomes that you want.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.